What's up, guys? Yesterday I had an interview with Mina Elias. We plan to talk about two topics about Amazon FBA mindset that you need for success, and also about PPC. Since Mina is a PPC expert, but we're both very passionate about mindset and about the fundamentals. So we talked the entire call about mindset and what you need to set yourself up for success in Amazon or in anything else that you do in life. Now, make sure that you watch the entire video, because this is something that will help you create those fundamentals for success. Sometimes people confuse and think that the how to create a listing, the technical stuff are the most important thing, but I think the opposite. I think that if you don't have enough good enough base, you can't really make it on Amazon or in any other competitive area in business, or some other goals that you have in life. Now, before we're moving into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like that, and leave a comment. I subscribe so I can personally reply to your comments. And one more thing, go to sourcing-monster.com and make sure that you subscribe to the newsletter, because I share their tips and updates that I don't share here. Now, let's start with the video. And actually, one more thing, I'm sorry and apologize because there was a glitch with the recording, so it's not really shifting between the speaker, so you only see Mina Elias, but you can listen to it and still get all this value. Let's start. In this video, we have Mina Elias. Mina is a PPC expert and have his own Amazon brands in the supplements category. Thank you for being a guest here, Mina.
Thank you for having me.
Monster channel. Could you share a little about yourself, a background, how you started to sell on Amazon, and what you're currently focusing at?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Mina Elias. I came to America 2011 to study chemical engineering and chemistry. Got my bachelor's in 2014, worked in the industry. I was in, new product development for surgical devices. I then moved on to chemical safety hazard and then project management and so on and so forth. I did a lot of stuff in like the industry as an engineer, got my master's in industrial engineering, and then quickly realized that you're pretty much, I always felt like I was like a slave, the lifestyle just was not what I wanted. I mean, it was kind of like, I didn't know that there was another option, but it was very hard for me to believe, like, wow, like the next 30, 40 years, whatever of my life, I'm going to spend waking up, going to work, working at this job, and then barely getting like 4 weeks vacation a year. It was like, this is like, I needed to figure something out. Right. And right around that time, I was on vacation. It was in 2018. I was on vacation. And me and my dad, he brought up the topic of like, why don't you start your own supplement company? And it came out of nowhere. It came out of like me kind of just looking into supplements and things like that for me to consume. And he was saying, why don't you do that? I said, let me look into it. I looked into it and then quickly realized, like, when you did that quick calculation, the Alibaba calculation, obviously I did it differently, but you see it's $2 and then you can sell it for 20. I said, okay, how much does all the raw ingredients cost? They're $5. You can sell it for 25 or 30. It's a no-brainer, right? You can make a lot of money. So I called a few people, said, how can I start a business? Can you do graphic design for me? Things like that. And they all helped me out. And quickly, I think within a couple of weeks, I had my LLC done. I had my formulas done, and I made a few samples of my electrolyte supplement. So hydrolyte, that's what I'm known for. See it right here. And so I was like, okay, cool. Let me test it on people. I tested on myself. It worked amazing. I was like, maybe I'm biased. I went to the gym and I told my friends, yo, I got this new secret supplement from a company. They won't allow me to say the name or anything. Please try it. Let me know. They tried it. They said, wow, man, this stuff is like really good. And I said, okay, cool. Like amazing. Like this is my stuff. And they like, kind of made fun of me. They didn't believe it. But then I was like, okay, I have something good going. I announced my company on Facebook. And, next thing you know, someone said, hey, I'd like you to come and be like a sponsor booth at an MMA event. So you know how the MMA fights are, like there's usually like CBD brands and stuff like that. Yep. So Showed up to the event. I got all ingredients from Amazon. I got the scoopers, the bags from Amazon. I got like labels from a printing company, like FedEx, for example.
Yeah.
Put everything together. I even sealed, like, ironed the bags shut with an iron on an ironing board. And then I went to the event. Had 40 units, 25 of them sold. I had also like a big like a 3-gallon jug where I put the hydrolyte and I flavored it and stuff like that. And people were like, wow, this stuff is so good. And I sold 25 out of the 40. And it was all like drunk people and people at fights. You know how they are.
Yeah.
They're not athletes. They were all just like drunkies. And so they kept asking me where can I get the supplement. So I didn't have a good answer. And I said, it's going to be on Amazon soon. And that's where it took me into the journey of, okay, like, let's figure out how to get this thing on Amazon. So dive down, watched like 100 YouTube videos. I did some research and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm like, man, like, I really can't figure this out. Everyone on YouTube sounds like they're a scammer. And I'm sure like a lot of the good guys now, they're not scammers. But back then, it seemed like everyone on YouTube was a scammer. It was like, I found this product in 30 days at 100 million. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, I can see through this bullshit. So anyways, I didn't reach out to anyone. I called Amazon Seller Central and I said, hey, like, I want to sell supplements on your website. Like, can you tell me what to do? And so they literally gave me step-by-step instructions, which, looking back now, like, wow, that's crazy that Amazon Seller Central actually, talked to me. But they helped me do that. They helped me get ungated. I had like a person that I talked to every single time. And, I was in and good to go. And I was like, okay, damn, like, now I actually got to make the stuff. So I had this plan that I was going to buy everything in bulk and have my roommate, I'll pay him money while I'm at my engineering job, and he's going to mix everything and pack it. Which obviously is but I'm like, man, this is illegal. People might get sick. But like, really, I said, nah, really, are people going to get sick? I mean, I'm making food at home every day. I've never gotten sick in the last 10 years. So I'm sure if I make supplements, like, no one's going to get sick. It's like I'm making food for myself. So it was a lot of back and forth. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it like a legit and scalable way. I contacted a bunch of companies and the prices were like insane. MOQs were high. And then the company that was going to give me the bulk ingredients, I said, can you do a mix? You have all the ingredients anyways. They said, yeah, we'll do a mix for you. And it came out like at the same price that if I was going to do it at home on my own.
Wow.
So I said, okay, that's definitely a win there. Started with 100 units. And then came my first mistake. I sent this guy bags and scoopers. And basically, I never asked him to test anything. He made them. He sent them to Amazon, and Amazon were putting them in the bags, sending them to the customer. And 60 out of the 100 broke and exploded during shipping because the bag was the bag was bad. Like the
packaging. Wow.
Yeah, the actual bag that I bought, it was like a golden bag on Amazon. The corner was like a weak spot. So you just from here, like this
The
high,
weight was like too much.
yeah, you just drop it like 1 foot and it explodes.
Wow.
So then I'm like, okay, I need to have a quality control or inspection in place or whatever. So it kept getting better and better from there. I was very aggressive with the PPC. So I remember, I think a few days, maybe 5 days later, I was spending $100 a day on Amazon PPC, but I was selling 10 units a day, between 7 and 10 units a day. And obviously I was very aggressive with the reviews. I was every single day. I was, hey John, please, man, like I'm gonna give you $25. Can you or $20? Can you buy Hydrolyte on Amazon and then leave me a review later?
What year we're talking about?
Huh?
What year was it? Like
2018.
2018. Okay.
Yes, this is 2018. So I was hounding these people hard and, eventually started getting, 20, 30, 40 reviews. My PPC is aggressively spending. Now I'm looking and I'm like, wow, I'm not making any profit. Literally, like any money that I'm making is going back into inventory. Like, and I had to obviously take some more money out of my bank account to pay for a few things. I messed up with the graphic design. I hired people from Fiverr. So made a lot of these mistakes. And then eventually I'm like, I need something better. A friend had reached out, told me that her sister worked for like a big company that does Amazon stuff. So I went talk to her sister. She didn't know much because she was managing like a massive $12 million account. It's all CPG. So if you know CPG, you really don't have to do much for CPG. So I was like, how do you extract keywords in the search term report? And she's like, I don't know, like a company does that for us. It's like kind of like that. She's a 9 to 5
They're so
employee.
big that everyone have their own role, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she said, who can really help you? There's a conference coming up in March of 2019, and early bird pricing is only $300, and it's actually Tenuity that's doing it. And Tenuity, they used to be called CPC Strategy. They had this conference called Ad NYC, and they're like one of the biggest agencies in America. I think they're the biggest one. They manage like Under Armour, Starkist Tuna, One Bar, like Pampers, like massive brands. And so I said, okay, like let me think about it. And I'm like, let me just bite the bullet, $300. I'm already like down, like $1,000. But like, and people now are like, oh, you only like spent $1,000 on your Amazon business. I'm like, yeah, I started out with 500 and then maybe another 500. Like small steps. So I bought the ticket and I went there. And that day like changed my life, because now I was fully surrounded by Amazon sellers, and not just regular Amazon sellers, like Amazon sellers who are like 9 to 5 employees of like massive companies, people who have like 7, 8 figure businesses. There was very few like people starting out, maybe like two or
Amazing.
3 or 4 people that I met over there. And the entire like agency was there. I'm like, I can't believe they flew out like 35 people, or like the entire agency is like hundreds of people. But I'm saying like they flew out like 30 people from like San Diego all the way to New York City for this event. But they're a really good agency. They have amazing culture, and like everyone there seems happy. So I spent every single second of the day, literally, like imagine if you were in a room with all of like these Amazon, experts. Every single second of the day, I'm asking question, and literally pages in my notebook, pages. And some guy would talk about listing optimization, and I would like take notes, and then I'd go to him, hey man, this, and like amazing talk, blah 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 blah. I have a few questions, and I would ask a bunch of questions, and then I would tell them, okay, who can I get my listing optimization done, and how much do they cost? Okay, this person this much. Then I would go around the entire conference asking every single person, who can I do my listing optimization with, and how much did it cost you? And basically like I got every single resource, every single piece of information I could get from these people. And people were like, wow, man, like you don't sit, you don't rest. Like I'm talking nonstop, one person after the next. And, I'm hungry, man, because like I needed to make this money. For me, I was in a position where failure was not an option. I was so depressed at my job. I was waking up 4:30 in the morning, going to the gym, driving to work 45 minutes, working 9 hours, driving 45 minutes back, going to MMA. It was literally like I was like this, I was getting like the life was getting like wringed out of me. And so I said like I need to do something. Like I can't keep doing this. And so it was a very, very strong desire to quit my job. And I was reading Think and Grow Rich at the time, and they said you have to like say your goals out loud with a definitive amount, a date, and how you're gonna do it, and then the subconscious mind takes over. So I was saying every day on the drive to work, I was saying by May 31st, 2019, I will be making $5,000. That's it. That's the one.
I read it every year. This is like my Bible. So this is.
So if you read this one, read the 15 Laws of Success by him.
I started.
Yeah, it's a long book. I'm reading that now. I think I'm like halfway done. Man, it is an insane book. It's a very, very good book. So that takes it, like Think and Grow Rich is just a small piece of the entire book.
Yep.
So I kept saying like by May 31st, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna be making $5,000 net profit per month. I'm gonna buy, selling hydrolyte, like everything, And April 31st comes around, and they fire me from my job, because obviously like at that point I didn't care at all. And I was doing the bare minimum to get by, just making sure everything is getting done. But the super high motivated Mina was no longer there. My full focus was on the business. And I was like always thinking, I was in the back, I'd go to the bathroom with my phone. I'm always like looking up Amazon, just I eat, sleep, breathe Amazon, like podcasts on the way, YouTube videos on the way back. Every waking moment, I'm like listening to something related to Amazon. And,
Funny, your story is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's funny because many points you mentioned are we're very similar. I had the same kind of experience. I'll explain a little about it after you're done. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, pretty much April 31st, they fired me. And I was making $4,000, I believe, a month on Amazon in profits. So at that point, I'm like, okay, they did the hard decision for me. Let me just keep doing it. But I realized that obviously, cash flow wise, it's not going to be a smart idea. So I said, I packed up all my shit. I said, I hate Connecticut. I was in Connecticut. If you guys know Connecticut, it sucks. I said, I hate Connecticut. Packed up all my shit, literally put it in a car, in one carload, parked my car at church, and then took a flight out to Egypt. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go on an extended vacation. Work now that I can work from wherever I want in the world. I'm gonna do it. So I spent 3 months in Egypt, a month in Dubai, working. My bills were very low in Dubai. I was staying with friends, so I have a lot of friends, and the house is there. 3-bedroom for 1,500, 1,800 a month, and like with ocean view and everything. It's like it's much cheaper out there. So Egypt, I was spending like maybe $500 a month. Dubai, $1,000 in that month that I was there. So not much at all. Obviously, Dubai, you can spend a lot more if you want to ball out and go get bottle service every day and drink 24 karat gold. But I was just like living like how I grew up. We woke up, hit the gym, worked on my business in the afternoon, went to a cafe, had like a mango smoothie or whatever. Simple life. Everything is beautiful. I'm not like a crazy spender like that. So by the time I came back so I spent 4 months. Came back to California. By then, I came back to America, and then took my car, shipped it to California, flew out to California. By then, I was making $10,000 a month in profits, and so then I was like, all right, I'm all set. Moved into Venice, California. Now I'm Marina Del Rey, California, but been the best move of my life, and just been working harder. Like 2021, I started it harder than like any year working on my business. And so I'm just picking up the momentum, because now I'm like getting into the groove of everything.
Yeah. Once you see the success, once you see what is possible, I think when you have the 4,000 or the 10,000, it's more exciting when you now like made 40, 50, 70K profit a month. But it's still, this success, it's addictive. It makes you like want to push
more. It's
more.
Like gambling. You know when you win at the table, when you win like a hand and then you lose it, you're like, oh my, I gotta. It's like the same thing.
Remember that win, yeah.
Yeah, you did it once. You won once. You're like, I can win again. I did it once, and so that's how it is. And and another thing is when I moved here to California, the biggest thing that took me from like here to here was because I said I'm starting fresh. I'm only gonna surround myself with other successful people, and man, I'm going to tell you, this is the number one. So many people like tell me, oh, like these are my day ones, my friends. I'm like, I understand. I didn't say, tell them to go die. I just said, you need to spend 95% of your time with the people who are above you that will raise you up. And then 5% of your time, even my mom, and my dad, I can't talk to them too long. I call them every single day. I can't talk to them too long because you start getting all of this, like, their thoughts and ideas. They're not going to make me 8 figures, like I need to hang out with 8-figure people to get to that level. So even though I love them so much, I do everything for them, it's like.
Just one moment, because I have here my...
Yeah, I gotta stay surrounded by the right people.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt and leaving the frame for but you mentioned something and I took it from my vision board, and that's by Tony Robbins, a quote. You can see it here, but who you spend the time with is who you become. Change your life by consequently choosing to surround yourself with people with higher standards. So this is something, and in the previous, I think 2 videos ago, I interviewed Fernando Campos, and he mentioned one thing that is like, it's just simple, you know. Success is simple. See, people sometimes making things complicated, but it's very simple. It's not easy to follow or do, but it's simple in the essence of it. And he said one of the biggest things that you can take to grow to 7 or 8 figures, just a network with the right people, be around those people. And second thing, build a team. So I definitely, like, because our time is
Yeah,
limited.
I hung out with Fernando the other day, and he really helped me a lot with the whole team part.
Yeah,
And because he's here in California too. Now he's in Hawaii, but he helped me out a lot, and he talked to me about the team. And man, people underestimate the power of the team, but when you have good employees and a good team, it's insane the amount of stuff you can accomplish.
exactly. Because, you know, I rather focus on exploring new things, growing the business, rather than like the things that I'm already doing more than 2 or 3 or 4 times. I'm outsourcing, and
Yeah.
I think like our time is limited, and that's the only way to grow.
Yeah.
That's how the big companies do
and
it.
and I'm also like glad that I didn't fall into the sometimes I did, but there's a lot of people that are all for the quick wins, the quick, and I was never like that. And a lot of people are like, wow man, you're doing amazing with the hydrolyte branding, and it's gonna pay off because I just got so I sponsored the gym, MMA gym, the one that I train at, Black House MMA, and they're doing videos and images for me. I'm all over the walls at the gym in the cage, and I just got everyone on the team Under Armour shirts that say Hydrolyte and then Black House. And they're like, you invest so much money in something that's not a tangible return. Like, I don't pay $200 for these shirts and get $200 in sales on my product, but I've been blessed to like be able to kind of not worry too much about the short-term gain, because I know with enough, I'm like a very consistent and very consistent person. So with my diet, with my training, with anything, so I know I'm just gonna keep putting out this content. I'm gonna keep putting out blogs. I'm gonna
The
keep,
results will
you know,
come.
and eventually, it's without a doubt, people are gonna know me. My goal is just to be known all over California. If everyone in California knows about Hydrolyte, then from there I'm good.
Definitely. I think exactly the same. And it's like the compound effect. There is the book, The Compound Effect. You know, if you want to achieve something big, you can just like you have to work consistently, just dedicated enough time every day to it. And you can't really see the results in a month or two, but you have to remember, you have to measure it in like year. That's how I started.
Mhm.
When I started to sell on Amazon, I told to myself, I'm going to try it for a year. I'm not going to look at the results, but I'm going to put every day 3 hours, because I had my day job, and I couldn't really like know whether it's going to work or not. But I know from previous experience that if I will measure it after a month or two, I might just quit. So I told to
Yeah.
myself as a goal, I am making as a present, I'm making $10,000 net profit by October 2019, I remember. And I'm gonna put all this work every day. I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna check if I made the 10,000 or not. I'm just gonna commit to the process for a year. If it's not gonna work, I'm gonna quit. If it's gonna work, perfect. And it worked. I made it only by October, the last month, I made 10,000 profit, which was 50K, I
You
think.
get exactly what you ask for, right?
It's amazing. And this year I made it like a different level,
10 times more.
10x, and it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
working. It's working, but you have to commit to the process. I don't see the results now, but after a year, which is not a lot of time. Yeah, it's time, a year, but people spend years doing nothing. So
The alternative is that you're gonna spend 35 years working in a 9 to 5,
yeah,
and then
doesn't matter what
you're
you do.
gonna
Yeah.
cap. Like the president of the last company I worked for was making $180,000 a month.
You
So
get it?
that's you at 60, you at 55, 58, 60. When you reach the top, you're gonna be making 180K. That's nothing.
That's nothing, and you're kind of with handcuffs on you. You can't really live
Yeah.
the life that you're supposed to live. I want to
No.
live the best life that I can really live. And if I don't want to get to 40, 50 years old and have all this regret. You can't really go back in time. I don't want
Yeah.
to live and say, oh, maybe I could do better, maybe I could have better experience, maybe I could give better to my kids, maybe I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I also always think about is I really want to be present, when my kids are growing up. I eventually want to have kids, and I'm young now, but when I do, I want to be there the whole time. And I'm thinking, man, with a 9 to 5 job, if you think about it nowadays, you can't tell your wife stay at home with the kids. It's just, I don't even think it's good. It's not healthy for someone to stay home with the kids all the time. So now you're talking, there's gonna be you're gonna have someone watching the kids or something, and then when are you gonna see the kids? You're gonna come home from work. Are you gonna go to MMA, or are you gonna spend some time with the kids, or are you gonna spend some time and go to It's like, it's a very like the way society is
Impossible.
right now. It's just, now with the work from home, I think things are getting a lot better because now you can stay home. But that's one thing that I thought about is like, okay, let me say what's my life right now, and the way that it is right now, how is it going to be in the future? And it just looked like the worst life ever. Waking, I mean, because my boss told me, she brought me into the office. She said, do you see yourself in my position 10 years from now? And I said, of course. I'm gonna say, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
because I do want to be the boss. But then I thought about it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to come in before her, or before everyone, because she comes in early. I'm gonna have to leave after everyone because I gotta make sure all this shit. I gotta stay late when we're closing the books every month. And I'm like, well, what is this? What is this life? This is not a life.
Doesn't worth it. Doesn't worth it. I had the same situation when I had my day job, like from 9 to 7, pretty much every day. I would, even if I had this like 30 minutes or an hour with my kids, with my two girls, I was exhausted, And now when
Yeah,
I'm doing Amazon only, I could take her, like I pick her up from school at 3, and I have that flexibility. I go with her to a swimming class, and then I come back. It's okay. After they go to sleep, I just work again. I have that flexibility, and that's really amazing. For example, like, I had my birthday. I really like to take a week off, and I really plan my next year goals and all of that. So I didn't really work for a week on my Amazon business, and that's fine. Everything worked like normal.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
once you reach, like you said, the 4,000, then you set a goal for 10,000, and once you actually reach that goal, you can never go back to the same old thinking. You have that confidence, right, that that you can achieve anything. So it's whether it's Amazon or you do SEO or whatever you do. It's all about like setting goals, being clear, and really keep pushing. This is really amazing. I think we can talk about this topic for like
Forever. Yeah,
forever. But I do have a couple of questions, if it's okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know you mentioned I saw your session with Isabella, I think, on Seller Sessions, and you
Mm-hmm.
talked about like that you wake up early and you use technology to boost your productivity and energy levels. Maybe you can share a little bit about that, because from my experience, working hard without really supporting it with high energy levels, it's not gonna work. It's gonna collapse after a month or two. Now I don't do it anymore, but I used to wake when I had my day job at 4 a.m. and work on my business until 7 a.m. every day. People would look at me as crazy, but it's not crazy, because I went to bed at 8:30. There is no way.
Yeah.
At first I went to bed at 11, but then after 3 or 4 weeks, I was collapsing. So I figured the only way for me to be energized is to go to bed early. But want to hear from you. What do you think about waking up early? How you make it happen, and how you use technology for that?
For sure. So there's a few things that go into it. The first piece of technology is this. It's Whoop, WHOOP, and basically the Whoop really measures my heart rate and my heart rate variability and how much I sleep. I know a lot of people are familiar with the Aura rings and stuff like that, but I think this is a little bit more technologically advanced in
Okay.
terms of overall performance. So what I started doing is I started experimenting with all the factors that can improve my sleep, because the waking up in the morning, it's not really just about waking up in the morning, it's also about your sleep. So I sleep every day at 9:30, wake up at 5:30. I noticed a few factors affect my sleep and allow me to recover a lot better. First factor is being going to bed consistently. Second factor being the temperature in the house, 66, and I'll tie that in. So 66 while wearing a t-shirt and my boxers, that's I found is the best after doing a lot of tests.
Beautiful.
No water, no water an hour and a half before bed. No food 2 hours and a half before bed, preferably 3 hours. I have to let my phone go an hour and a half before bed, and What else? There's a couple other things, but there's a few
Sleeping like
factors
in
that.
a dark room.
Oh yeah. The darkness is definitely an important factor. And so after and no exercise before bed.
Yeah.
So at least 30 minutes to an hour before bed. No, don't do it. Like no physical activity. And
For me,
so after.
I can't fall asleep like after Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training. It's just impossible. Like
Oh,
three
that
hours.
used to be a big issue for me, yeah, because like I'm all like tense, you know.
Yeah.
And so after I figured these factors out and the consistent sleep and consistent time to sleep and all that stuff, then my sleep became way better. Now my recovery is really good. Now I installed a few things to help me wake up. So I have a Google Nest Home. The temperature is from 9 p.m. to 5:15 a.m. is 66 degrees, which is perfect for sleeping. At 5:15 a.m. it turns to 74 degrees. Now the heat allows me alone to naturally, like, okay, now my body's like getting uncomfortable under the covers, it's getting warm, it's working temperature, and my body's now it's trained, it knows 66 is sleep, 74 is working. So it automatically switches that. So now 5:15, I'm already starting to get warmed up, and I have smart plugs in all over my house. So at 5:30 in the morning, the living room lights turn on, the bedroom lights turn on, and then at the same time, I have my phone with the alarm on the counter right here. So my room is like in there, and I have to physically walk
Yeah.
in the light. My room is light all the way to turn it off, and I don't put it on this side of the counter. I put it in the back. Now it's here just because I'm working, and I also keep it here when I'm working to avoid distractions, and forget about it. But I usually put it on the other side. So now I'm like all the way in the kitchen, and it's like very inconvenient I unplug it, and or I turn it off, and then I go all the way back, and I'm like, okay, it's hot. It's not hot, but it's warm. I don't feel like working. And then I put my bed and everything. I make it, and now I'm up and ready, and I'm doing my routine. So those are like the hacks to kind of get me out of bed. Then I have alarms with labels on my phone. So at 5:30, the
Okay.
label says "Rise and Crush today," which basically is like hypes me up to get up. Then I have at 5:40, read my goals out loud. So you remember, I'm gonna be making $4,000. It's the same thing. I gotta read them out loud. I read them 4 or 5 times, and then at 5:50, I believe, I have to read my affirmations. So I have a list of things that I read out loud, and it's like affirmations. It's basically, people underestimate the power of words. That's why I never say anything like I'm tired, I'm burnt out, I'm busy. Nothing. It's all like positive. I'm killing it, working hard. I'm blessed. I have so many opportunities. That's all I say. I'm
Sorry to
living my
interrupt.
best
I
life.
will add one more thing. Sometimes people would read their goals, but they read it like they have to. When you read it, I like to really close my eyes and like pray,
You
I don't know, to God, to the universe, whatever you believe in, but kind of really put attention to every word you say. It will increase the power of this because it tells your subconscious you want it so bad. And then your day starts, and every action that you do is aligned with this, whatever you mentioned.
yeah.
So I really like think like yourself, and it's amazing. Sorry, go
So
ahead.
very very powerful, and it's very powerful to the point that you will notice that these things will start coming true with subconsciously, because
Yeah.
you're training your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is like a whole other conversation, but it is incredibly powerful. And
Amazing.
then from there, I go to the bathroom, do my skincare routine, and wash up and all this stuff. So I talked in that video about habit stacking. So basically, habit stacking is find a habit that you do every single day consistently. And
Mhm.
if you want a new habit, stack on a habit right on top of that that you want to do, and make it a very, very small amount. So two books that I recommend: Atomic Habits, that's the one that talks about habit stacking, and then Mini Habits. This is the best way for you if you want to start new habits, the best way to go about it. And now the way that it works is, I used to only brush my teeth, wash my face, get this stuff out,
Yep.
brush my teeth. And then I'm like, okay, my beard was like never really like now it like looks clean, you know, and obviously I'm on podcasts every single day or whatever, so I need to like always look clean. So but I did this way before. I said, okay, let me start by adding one thing. I'm just gonna shave that bottom part every single day, and since the line is there, I'm just gonna top it up. It's gonna take 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And so I started with the smallest. I didn't go from 0 to a 16-step facial and skincare routine. No, I just added that one thing, and I did it consistently, and now it gets added into your habits, and your brain is using 0% effort or 0.01% effort to do it. And that's what you have to worry about, is that how much, because when I first did it, my brain was using, let's say, 50 or 60% effort to do it. But as you do it consistently, it goes down and down and down, and now your brain has room for more. And so the next thing is, I got the thing, and every time when I go to the barber, he sharpens up my beard, and I just keep following the lines every morning. And so now my face started being always shaped up, and the beard is good.
Without too much effort.
Like a reminder every Sunday that I need to, trim down the beard. So every Sunday I get an alarm, trim down the beard. Everything is like I treat everything like almost like a job, because humans are so prone, for me at least, I'm so prone to failure. And I'll touch on another thing in a second. But anyways, I did the same thing with the skin care routine. It started with the scrub, then the toner, then this, then that, and I slowly added. Now I have
Everything.
a full. I wake up. I don't think. I open my drawer. Everything is there in order. Shaver, the first skin thing, the second skin thing, the third skin thing. Okay, done. And I walk out. And it's so easy, so simple, because my brain, it doesn't require any effort to do it, because I already built the habits one by one. And so the mini habit says, okay, for example, if you are here and you want to get here, like you want to do a 1 hour workout a day, or you want to run 5 miles a day, don't do that, because you're never going to do it. So
Not like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Start with the smallest thing that you're like, no way that I can miss it. So for example, I like to do shadow boxing. It's shadow boxing 100% improves your technique more than anything. And so for people who don't know what shadow boxing is, it's like pretending that you're fighting, but in the air, because it allows your muscle memory and everything to improve. That was one of the biggest things I struggled with, because I was always saying, okay, I'm going to do 6 3-minute rounds, and I have the round timer. And I said, okay, no, I'm going to stack it to a habit. Okay. And I'm going to do 1 3-minute round. And so before drinking my pre-workout, I would mix my pre-workout, and then I put a block of ice in the pre-workout, and I would put the timer, shadow box for 3 minutes. By then the ice is melted, so I can drink my pre-workout. And now I stacked another habit, which is after I drink my pre-workout, I sit down and I visualize. And so that was another habit that I wanted to add. And again, I wanted to do a full visualization. It wasn't working. So I said, okay, I'm just going to visualize like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Once I get the visualization every single day after my pre-workout, and once I get the shadow boxing 3 minutes every single day after my pre-workout, then let's make it 2 rounds. Then let's make it 3 rounds. Then, make the visualization longer and longer, and so on. And so that is the way that I was able to. So people see me, they're like, Mina, you're like a robot. You're doing a million things. I'm like, dude, trust me. I wasn't in college. I got out of college. Okay. Fat, chubby, drinking. Okay. I always worked out. I always did MMA, but like, I didn't really do anything like intentionally. Everything was kind of like, okay, I do this, I do that. But, and now it's like, I'm systematically, and it takes 0 effort for me. It takes 0 effort for me to do this and this and this and this and this, because I just built it into a consistent habit. And then the other thing, which I was talking about, is the fatigue in your brain. This is another reason why a lot of people are struggling with the habits, I believe personally, because it happened to me. Having things that force you to make decisions. And in a video, I talked about how I'm always wearing these same shirts. I also have no cookies, no snacks, no drinks, nothing in the house that I have to walk to the kitchen and be like, no, I'm not going to do this. Nothing here where I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to do this. Because every single time I have to resist or make a decision, it lowers my brain capacity. And if you read the book, Peak Performance, Elevate Your Game, they talked about judges. And they said judges who granted like parole in the first portion of the day or after lunch, massive difference. It was like 80% granted in the morning and then 80% rejected or 90% rejected in the evening, because they got the decision fatigue. They're making decisions. Same with doctors. They found surgeons made mistakes in the evening way more than the ones in the morning because of the decision. So I eliminated all of the decisions making that I have to do. Same shirt, not same shirt, but I bought 12 Under Armour, 12 Gymshark shirts, same shirts every single time. And then, nothing in the house that requires me to make a decision. Everything is set up. And, that's also something very important. If you notice that you're not able to add habits, you might be making too many decisions that you shouldn't be making. And with kids, dude, I don't know how it is with kids. I'm sorry. It must be hard, man. You got a kid and, dad, this, dad, that. Why do babies come, like things like that. I'm sure that wears a person down. I'm not familiar. I'm just talking from the general perspective. Anywhere you can eliminate a decision, do it. Now, are your kids going to wear you down 100, going to bed at 8? Maybe you go to bed at 8, wake up at 4, and then you have like 3 hours when the kids are asleep that you can do things uninterrupted and without having that decision fatigue before the kids wake up. And now you got to like waste a lot of energy with them.
You mentioned some. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Because
you.
you can hear me. It's like Mark Zuckerberg. He also the same. He have the same shirts because he don't want to think about it. He want to think about like the high important decisions that you have to make. And that's why people recommend do your important tasks first. Because when you are tired, when you get like 3-4 p.m. and you have to do this important task, you're so tired, you might postpone it. You might not really give it enough attention. So that's why I start first, clear out all the important tasks. Then I move on to the unimportant tasks or tasks that are not that important than changing the bottom line. I definitely agree. It's like a battery. So your battery, just like every time you make a decision, your brain gets like the battery of this fatigue just get lower and lower. And yeah, it's amazed me really, because you speak the same way as I speak. People tell me, "Oh, how you do it? You're like a robot," but they don't really understand. It doesn't really take a lot of efforts once you have this right system. And I was able to really focus and try to improve my productivity. Really, it's 10 or 12 years. I constantly read books about it and try to improve it. And I was able to learn languages the same way you mentioned, just 5 minutes a day. But after 5 years now, I know like addition of 2 languages. I know like Spanish, French. I learn now Chinese. I want to travel to China and speak with them Chinese. So, but it doesn't take a lot of effort.
That's amazing.
5-10 minutes a day. It's nothing. Anyone can do it, but you do it for a couple of years, which no matter, like, doesn't matter. It just your life continues.
The years are going to come. The years are passing anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you find yourself with all these new skills without really feeling that you are like working like crazy. It's just easy because it's small steps. Mm-hmm. I had many more questions to you about PPC and some other stuff, but just, we both passionate about this, like whole, it's the how to. But maybe one last question about this, because I strongly believe that success in Amazon or in anything, in any business or in your life, reaching any goal, depends on not really on how to details, like what to eat, how to create a listing, etc. It's the mindset. And you see it constantly. People that have strong base of productivity, of managing time or setting up goals, they will make it on Amazon or in anything else. And those that just come and start, even they are more passionate about it and want it more, they fail. So what is one small tip or something you saw with successful sellers that you can recommend to new sellers to work on, focus on at the beginning before they start and keep pushing?
Yeah. So a few things is, I would say, don't be afraid of making mistakes, and take the decisions much faster. I've seen so many people around me where I make the decision. Like, for example, I said, let's try launching 20 campaigns in one day, PPC campaigns. I have someone who'll be like, let's think about it. Let's ask this person. I'm like, guess what? I already did it, and it's a day later, and I already know what the answer is. So guess how much faster I learned and I'm evolving versus this other guy, way faster. So Number one,
Yeah.
always learn. Number two, understand that failing or failing, making mistakes is the fastest way to learn. And don't be afraid to do it. And every single day, look at, hey, what can I learn? What can I do? What action can I take? Because at the other side of that action, there is going to be the answer. So don't spend too much time contemplating. So many people push like to later and later and later. And listen, I know, hey, is it a good idea if I pay $4,000 for that guy and he does like a PR campaign? I don't know. Here's $4,000. Guess what? In a month, I'm gonna know the answer. Meanwhile, you will never know, because you're always gonna keep thinking and waiting for someone else like me who did it and knows the answer. And guess what? I might tell you, yeah, it worked amazing, and then you go and try it and it works horrible because we have different products, or I did it differently, or I managed the problem. So you need to
Keep testing, keep
the
trying. Yeah.
people the reason people, I think, advance much faster is that they get the experience from the failures. They're failing faster. And I think definitely one of the things, you do jiu-jitsu, you learn a move like whatever move, omoplata, whatever. You're like, "Ah, I don't know, man, this is might not work." Guess what? You'll never get good at it, or you'll never be able to do it if you don't go into the live rolling and do it and obviously you're going to do it once and you're going to get screwed, and the guy is going to see it coming because you suck at it, at that move, and he's going to catch you, and then you do it again and again and again until you get really good at it. It's the same thing with business. Is you're never going to get good at something if you never just take the plunge and do it. So don't take what you know in theory and all this stuff and keep it in theory, act on it, and then learn from it. And the faster that you do that, the more experience that you're going to get, and the better skilled you're going to get. So that's what I would say. And don't be afraid of failing, because this from jiu-jitsu, the only way you ever fail is when you quit. When you quit, you are 100% you failed. There's no even glimmer of hope. But as long as you never quit, you'll never fail, because there's always going to be that chance that you're going to succeed.
For sure, for sure. This is what it's all about, really. It's the mindset, how you approach things. And I agree. I'm also like that. I try a million things that from the beginning I say, I don't think they're gonna work. And you know what? Those things that you don't think gonna work, they're gonna surprise you. And the other way, like things that you're so confident and yeah, I'm going, like for example, I thought I'm gonna get way better results if I'm gonna outsource it to PC automation softwares, but I do way better result. And I just give it a try. But doesn't matter. The point is, keep trying new things, keep testing, even things you think you are 100% confident. I came from the world of like conversion rate optimization. I do marketing before I did Amazon, and we would run tests all day long, and tests that we had so much confidence in would just like didn't work. And the opposite, you never know how the audience will react, how the results will be, how the market accept your product. You have to try. I launched 2020 25 products. You know what? 10 failed, which is a rate that I never had before. But I'm okay. From those 10 that failures, I learned so much. I learned invaluable lessons. Anyway, we can talk again for hours. Mina, it was really a pleasure having you here. I hope we will talk for sure about PPC in the future. Maybe you can tell people about your services and what you offer if they want to find you.
Yeah, so Mina Elias on Facebook, and then at Egyptian_prescription_Elias. I have a PPC course. It's a very technical course. If you want to understand the ins and outs of PPC, it's theppcuniversity.com. And then I have it has a full hour free course on PPC. My YouTube channel, the PPC University, also has a ton of free content. So go check those out, and reach out if you have any questions, or if you're interested more in this kind of stuff. Also, I have a big project coming up with Sammer. It's all about biohacking, but also we're taking a product from zero all the way to launching on Kickstarter, on Amazon, ranking, reviews, everything.
Nice.
We're showing everything. We're going to be fully transparent. We also got sponsors like Getida, which is like the FBA reimbursement, Thrasio, $1 billion Amazon acquisitions company, Ping Pong Payments is like one of the best exchange rate companies. And basically, They're giving us money, and we're using all of that money to bring the best talent in every single field, and basically like have them consult our business, record the whole thing, and give everyone that value. So
Wow.
basically, think about this, like we have the budget to get all of the consultants that you wish you could, and we're showing it all, in that series. The product is a nootropic coffee alternative. It's right there with my biohacking, because I love coffee. I think it's very addicting. I know that the brain behaves like cocaine when you drink coffee, just at a smaller level. So I wanted like a more natural alternative, gives you energy and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much the next big project. Follow Sammer Brax, on YouTube, and the Brax FBA Facebook group. That's where like we're gonna share everything, and it's gonna be insane amount of knowledge. And I don't do this for money. I make my money from supplements, so that's I want to be the king of supplements. On Amazon and then off Amazon. It's my passion. I don't really do this. I don't really care too much to make money off of courses and all that kind of stuff. But we're doing this because I really believe that it's like our duty to add value to the community. Because if we don't, then someone else is taking other people's money and doing a bad job. And that's kind of like on us as well. Because if you're doing nothing, you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? So if you see someone, stealing from a woman, and you don't, grab her or say, hey, someone's stealing from you, you're equally as bad as the person who's stealing the money. And that's the way I feel, is that if I'm not adding value to the community, and it's also, it all comes back. It's karma, that's, I believe in things like that. And I believe in God, and I believe if you don't help people, or it's your duty. I feel so blessed. Like I live in this place. I live in Marina by the water. I feel so blessed. I also need to, pass on, some of that to the people. So I'm using the abilities that God gave me to bring all of these, amazing people and experts to, share their knowledge. We'll pay for it because we can afford it, and because, of the connections we have. So it's going to be an amazing series.
Yeah, for sure. Well said. And we share the same values. That's why I opened my YouTube channel as well. I don't really promote anything, but yeah, check these guys, this Mina out. His course on Facebook. You're gonna get ton of value, like I got, and I'm sure many people here learned a lot. And that's what important, to focus on the fundamentals before you try to achieve all these goals. Make sure you work on yourself first. Anyway, Mina, thank you again. It was a pleasure. We'll talk in
Thank
the
you.
future. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.